30 years ago this week, a lie led to a nationwide manhunt. Susan Smith drowned her own little boys in a lake in South Carolina and then convinced much of the country that a black man had kidnapped them. Well, that lie eventually unraveled and Smith was sentenced to life in prison. Soon, she'll become eligible for parole.
In the last hour, our South Carolina reporter Tina Terry gave you a behind-the-scenes look at the evidence from the case, some of which the public has never seen. Now, she takes us to the town where it all happened, in Union, South Carolina, where the pain from that case is still very real.
John D. Long Lake in Union, South Carolina was quiet and serene when we visited. But 30 years ago, it became the scene of an unthinkable crime.
It was shocking. I mean, because you can't picture a person that's do something to their own children like that.
This Union native remembers the week-long search for 3-year-old Michael and 1-year-old Alex. In October of 1994, their mother, Susan Smith, told police the boys were in the back seat when she was carjacked by an unknown black man on a Union County road.
Our lives have been torn apart by this tragic event. We love them, we miss them. They are our hearts.
You could feel that there was a lot of racial tension because of the statement of a black man that took two little white kids.
So many in this small town desperately searched for the children, not knowing what had really happened.
We're forming groups to go around the immediate area and distribute flyers that contains pictures of both the suspect and of the kidnapped children.
But some were suspicious.
And as I continue to see her talking on the news, something just resonated in me, like something ain't right about this story, because she's telling you something that happened, and she's like, don't even have tears. She's just crying, but there's no tears. And
Smith eventually confessed, claiming she had tried to kill herself and her sons by driving into the lake but jumping out at the last minute.
Susan Smith has been arrested and will be charged with 2 counts of murder.
This is a mugshot of Susan Smith today. She was sentenced to life in prison, which at the time meant possible parole in 30 years. Records show she's had about a half-dozen disciplinary actions in 3 decades. In 2010 and 2015, she was punished for using a narcotic. Perhaps the most serious, just 2 weeks ago, she was convicted in prison for, quote, communicating with a victim and or witness. The Department of Corrections says Smith took part in telephone calls with a documentary filmmaker about her crimes, and that she agreed to provide the filmmaker with contact information for friends, family, and victims, including her former husband. The filmmaker also deposited money into Smith's account. All of that a violation of prison policy and likely to come up in just a few weeks when Smith officially becomes eligible for parole.
Her job is to try to convince them that she's reformed, that she's changed, that she's not the same person she was, and that she is capable of being released out into society safely.
16th District Solicitor Kevin Brackett says Smith will have to prove to the parole board that she should be released, but he does not believe she should, and he plans to make that clear at her hearing.
She has not been reformed. I don't think she can be. I think this is just who she is.
He says Michael and Alex were Smith's first victims. But the public, both locally and nationwide, were also impacted.
She didn't have to do this. She put Union County through automatic hell.
And she kept this town, she kept the whole world in suspense for 9 days.
The public as a whole was traumatized by this, and I think that the public has a right to express their opinion as well, and I hope they do. I hope they share in writing their opinion as to whether or not she should be released.
Susan Smith's parole hearing was just scheduled for November the 20th, and we are told that the parole board has absolute discretion to either grant or deny parole. We are also told that the public can weigh in and share their thoughts with the parole board. We've included information on how to do that. Just click this story on our website. In York County, Tina Terry, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Tina, thank you. Channel 9 covered the Susan Smith story extensively for years. One of our editors scoured through hours of that old TV coverage and put it all together for you. You can scan the QR code there to get to that YouTube video. We also posted the link inside Tina's report on our website, WSOC-TV.com.